is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into your sports and sports betting brand of record. We're here every single day, except for tomorrow. But we're live on the Stadium Network and everywhere the stadium lives. Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. The list goes on and on. Now, we got a ton to get to over the course of the next 60 minutes. We've got a huge weekend in college football, all the playoff games. We got a big Saturday NFL game. We got our NBA showcase. We have our Coachman gifts, and also we have our best bets. Now, how did we do yesterday? Well, I tell you, I am the best NBA capper in the world, and I don't know what the rest of my team is doing, but I continue to lead by example. I will, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever seen a Thursday night game. If you saw two X's on the screen, I don't know that I've ever seen a game where we had one guy on -1.5, the other guy on the money line, and it was a 1-point game. So we lose both. Do you know how hard that is to do? But we managed to do it. So congratulations to us. I'll have more NBA picks today, so I encourage you to write them down because I simply don't lose. All right. Here is our schedule today. We're always busy. I just looked at the numbers for Coach and Bro from yesterday. It's our biggest 24 hours we've ever had. You guys are loving the content. You guys are loving the show. It continues to grow. If you have not subscribed to both of our YouTube pages, I encourage you to do so. Last night we had such a fun time on our premium pop-up. I encourage you to become a premium member. Do it today. Usually 1 or 2 times a week. We'll hop on in the evening, do a bunch of live betting. It's fun. Last night was fun for me. We'll find out how it was for Mikey here in a second. Also, if you want to pick up a piece of merch, it's never too late. I don't know if you're going to get it by Christmas, but we're retooling the whole entire merch store as well for the first of the year, 2026. It's going to be really, really big for us and the brand. All right, housekeeping over. I'm ready to get to it, but they seem to be a little. Oh, there they are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Let's beat the books. All right, I got to start with my guy. Because I don't know if I've ever seen what's happened to our man Mikey P. The last. Well, let's just focus on the 24 hours. Mikey, last night you lost the Spurs by a half a point in the first quarter. You had the Rams going in for a touchdown. They fumble at the 8 into the end zone. We had the first half total. How are you feeling this morning, big dog? How are you feeling?
You know, Coach, it was the gift that kept on giving just the last 24 hours because when we got off air, I was trying to spin my luck. And would you believe it? I had the Warriors on the money line and they fouled with 0.3 on the.
No, you didn't. Oh, my goodness.
You know what?
It's really unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. I mean, just the fumbles are just incredible to watch. Can you imagine we were on the other side of that? Wow. All right. He's got the best damn beard in the game. You can find all of his incredible work over there at Prize Picks. Soupy, good morning.
Good morning. I'm feeling good about the game, but maybe because I had a lot of Puka Nacua in my fantasy lineups this weekend, and it's the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I hit 2 plays that weren't even on the recap screen last night. I had Puka over 7.5, easy cash. His number was like 90, easy cash. That dude he's unstoppable. Now, you come on Fridays, you're going to get a whole bunch of soccer. We love soccer here at the brand. We love Footy Friday. Say good morning to the man from the dirty, Big Chuck. What's good?
Morning, Coach, man, company. A lot of soccer. Hopefully we get some more consistency. We've seen a lot of inconsistency, good day, bad day, but I had high hopes for this weekend. And also was lucky enough to have the Seahawks. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp was double agent in the first half, fumbling right before he went in. So I feel your pain on that one, Mikey P.
I'm still trying to figure out. I got to talk to Raphael about this. My rule is less than 2 points, you play the money line. I'm not sure. He's so worried about juice all the time sometimes that last night just felt, I don't want to call it a mistake, but just play the money line. Just play the money line. Then you don't have to worry about it. But he's our expert, and I would never question it. But when that happens, you're like, lay the extra 20 cents. All right, boys, we got a lot to get to. So, Big Chuck, stand by. We got our best bets to get to first. Mikey, if I know you, like I think I know you, you're going to come out of the corner like a rabid dog. Do you want the smoke this morning?
I mean,
All right, let's go.
I'm dressed
Best
up
bets.
like Santa Claus. I'm going down chimneys. I want all the smoke, Coach.
All right, you're up.
I want to waste no time in trying to close out the week with a win. That's why at 11 a.m. Eastern, the first college bowl game of the day, give me Kennesaw State +3. Hell, I think they can win this game on the field outright, but I'll take the points. It's moved to +3.5 as of the last 20 minutes, but I like Kennesaw State +3. And then I just have to ride with my heart right now, Coach, because my gut's not working. So Celtics -6.5 taking on the Miami Heat tonight. It's always a great rivalry game. I think these Celtics can handle business against the Heat tonight.
Yeah, I looked at that one. The Heat, they've kind of been stumbling. Their offense isn't as good as it was, so I like fading them tonight in Beantown. All right, Soupy, coming over to you. What do you got?
I'm starting with the college football game tonight. I'm taking Oklahoma straight up on the money line. In that last game, they were able to get to Ty Simpson, pressured him 11 times, 4 sacks. I think they're going to be able to do it again. Ty Simpson in that offense struggled. Jam Miller's supposed to be back, but we'll see if he's 100% healthy to get that run game going. But I still love Oklahoma. And I'm going with a game on Saturday, James Madison +20.5. The last time that James Madison lost by 21 points was October 2021. It's 58 straight games. And what I think they could do is they can make Oregon one-dimensional, shut down that run game. They're only allowing 2.5 yards per carry. If you shut down Knowing Winnington, make Dante Moore just a passer, I think you can make this a close game.
It's funny. You actually said that with a straight face. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. Oh, I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. I hope you're right. But I don't think so. We'll see. That's a big number, though. We're talking about the spread, not about who's winning the game. All right, my 2 plays, you guys know. SI is saying it about me. I'm the best NBA capper out there. I simply don't lose. Bulls, Cavs under 240.5. I played this 2 nights ago. Same 2 teams. Basically the same number, and it went in the 230s. It's going to be the exact same thing tonight. When you play back-to-back, it's fresh in your mind what the other team's going to do. This is an easy cash. Now, Spurs-Hawks over 240.5. The Hawks last night, they had 69 points in the first half, and they were down by 11. What do you think the Spurs are going to do? Who scored 119 last night against the Wizards? Over 240.5. This one should be 243, 244. I love these 2 plays tonight. All right, you guys know when you come here on Fridays, you get your fix. Here in the States, 2 of our favorite words, day soccer. It's time for Footy Friday. All right, usually a 5-pack from our man Big Chuck. Where are we starting today, sir?
We'll start on Saturday. I've got an EPL doubler, Man City, West Ham, both teams to score. And I was shocked at this price, especially how many goals these teams have been scoring consistently. Plus, they've cashed this in 4 straight and 8 of 10. Then we have Brighton and I apologize for Sunderland. See, the Seagulls are coming off a horrible performance last week, but they returned home against the Black Cats. I think that Brighton returned to form, and I like them to score early. Go ahead and give me Brighton. First half team total over half a goal. They've hit the back of the net in 4 of their last 5 home matches in the first half. And then Germany, Bundesliga, Stuttgart, Hoffenheim, both teams are scoring over 2.5. We have 2 of the top 3 teams cashing this prop in the league, and I think they continue that on Saturday.
All right, let's head into Sunday. We got La Liga and Bundesliga. Talk to me.
This is an auto play. Villarreal, Barcelona, the over 3.75, whatever the over is between these two. It's come through in 13 of their previous 15 encounters. Then we're going back to Germany, Bundesliga, Heidenheim, not to be confused with Hoffenheim, and Bayern Munich. I'm going to roll with the mighty Bayern, team total over 3.5. Their away matches average 4.2 total goals, and they've scored at least 4 against Heidenheim in 5 of 6 lifetime matches.
I think they're pissed too because they had a draw this past week against a poor team. I can't remember the team off the top of my head, but Mainz. Are you kidding me right now? 2-2 against Mainz? 2-2. They're going to come out fired. Yeah, they're going to come out fired. All right, I love that. Looks like a 5-0 5-pack. All right, let me check my notes. Oh, indeed, it's December 19th, which means we continue to unwrap gifts. It's the 19th day in our run up to Coachmas. All righty, let's go to Mikey first. What is the gift that you're unwrapping for us this morning?
Just enjoying the gift of what we do here every single day. Have I had the worst week in show history? Absolutely. Bad beat after bad beat. But you know what? I stayed up till midnight last night watching the Blazers and the Kings game. Not because we were going to break it down, just because I simply love it. So it's almost a thank you to the entire brand for bringing me a part of it this year, because I don't know if I'm going to be here next week. So I just enjoy what we're doing here every single day, and it's so much fun to take in with all of you.
We need to talk after the show. All right, Big Chuck, coming over to you. What gift are you unwrapping today?
Hey, we're going to look at the college football playoffs in Alabama. Can you believe it? They have not won a playoff game since 2022. Now they go against Oklahoma. Can they get their victory against a team that the Sooners have actually owned them? They've won 4 of the last 5. Let's see if those new look Crimson Tide can pick up a victory today.
Interesting. I did not know it had been 3 years since they had won a college playoff game. That's a great gift. Soupy, what gift are you unwrapping this morning?
My wife likes to shop for next Christmas the day after this Christmas. But for us men, we shop the final weekend before Christmas. We try to do it beforehand, but we're not doing it. So this weekend, I'm going to appreciate all the men out there that are going to be out shopping and at the same time trying to watch all the college football and all the NFL. I hope you have your mobile app for wherever you stream your games.
Can you imagine you got your phone, you're walking through Target or wherever, and you keep looking at the score. What are you looking at? Nothing. That's why men over 40 like to be single. Respect. Mikey, what's good? Now, for my gift, I was a really good college player. I couldn't jump very high. I wasn't the best athlete, but I always knew there was a place for the slower, non-athletic star to appear. And Nikola Jokic last night became the all-time leader in assists for centers, proving that there is still a place for the slow, white star in the NBA. And it begs the question, Mikey, is there a place for that in the NFL?
Yes, absolutely. Especially if your TV color is working correctly.
Oh, my God. You guys missed it last night on the premium pop-up. I don't even remember the guy's name.
Jordan Whittington.
What's his name?
Jordan Whittington.
Yeah, so he catches a pass, and Mikey says he's the white version of Devontae Adams. There's only one problem. He's black. And I was like, is my screen wrong? Oh, my God. What an innocent mistake, but it was so funny. Shout out to my light-skinned brother out there. All right, still to come. We got a lot to talk about. College football, NFL, NBA, and as always, we are brought to you by Not Without Hope, in theaters right now, starring Josh Duhamel.
Down for some deep sea fishing? Crack of dawn Saturday?
We're gonna be all right. We're 4 big, strong men.
Nicholas, it's Mom. I know you went out fishing this morning. This big storm's supposed to hit.
We left some men out in the open water.
4 men in the middle of a giant storm.
This is now a rescue mission.
No visual. Weather getting worse.
Captain, is my boy still alive?
Hope is the strongest thing that we have.
Hang on! Oh, what a great movie that is. If you haven't seen it already, you can get your tickets through here. Check it out over the holidays. All right, we continue to watch on our YouTube channel during our breaks. And gentlemen, last night, even Sean McVay said he had never seen a 2-point conversion like that. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit said it was the craziest 2-point conversion of all time. A backwards pass, it gets tips, it falls on the ground. Seahawks player walks over and goes, oh, there's the ball. I'll pick it up. Oh, 2-point conversion ties the game. They win on another 2-point conversion because they're smart. They knew a tie would not help them. So why not go for it? It was incredible. Mikey, have you ever seen a 2-point conversion even remotely as nutty as that one?
Not as nutty as that one. And I've never seen a game-winning 2-point conversion with less excitement from Al Michaels in my life. I mean, that was the talk of the town for me. I mean, the Seahawks come back. They have this thrilling victory, and Al Michaels goes, oh, and it's good. Like, it was a wild night.
Me and my son were talking about that. He's like, Dad, why is he not more excited? Like, it's he called those last 2 touchdowns like I'm walking to the corner to get my mail. It's like, and the mail, Soupy, give me a play. I love Al Michaels, but he's 89 years old. Like, he doesn't care.
He's one of the most legendary broadcasters ever. Yeah, I think he's just at the twilight of his career. He's probably seen everything there is to see in sports. He's just like, I've seen this before.
It's absolutely amazing. It really is. But when you think about it too, Mikey, the Seahawks now, they have everything right in front of them. They control everything. Difficult schedule, but last night was gigantic for that number 1 seed.
And gigantic for Sam Darnold. I was coming in criticizing him in the game, before the game. After the game, there's nothing I can say except I'm sorry. He looked great, and he willed his team back, and now he has control of their destiny. It'll be interesting to see how he plays.
You really wonder how much that last fourth quarter will do for his confidence going forward, because he had 2 interceptions all of last week against the Colts, where they couldn't even score a touchdown. But I think last night could do a lot for that confidence. And when you're a confident quarterback, it's a really, really great thing for your football team. All right, time to dive in. It's a big Friday. We're back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. It feels like it's free, but because I've had Netflix for so long, but tonight I could not be more excited. It's one of the most, if not the most fascinating sporting events that we're going to see in our lifetime. Plus 650, Jake Paul taking on the former heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. And Mikey, I'm going to start with you. All I'm hearing from people is, I hope it's not scripted like Mike Tyson. If it's not, anything could happen.
Anything can happen. I actually want to approach this with no jokes from myself, because this is one of those fights where the term "you don't play boxing" comes into the picture. Jake Paul, it's been very fun. And as many times as I've criticized him for stepping into the ring against lesser opponents, you can't do this against Anthony Joshua. This is a guy who lost to Andy Ruiz because he didn't take boxing seriously, and then he went out and folded Francis Ngannou. That's who Jake Paul is going up against. This is not just a spectacle. This is a serious future, possible long-term issue for Jake Paul. He's definitely bitten off more than he can chew tonight.
It's a big payday for both guys. We're talking north of 40 mil. And Soupy, here's the problem for Jake Paul, that up until now, it's been all very, very smartly YouTubers or like a Tommy Fury. But this is now something to where we know the other ones were. It's come out. Gervonta Davis at 150 pounds was supposed to fight him a month ago. They were worried that it would come out, that it was supposed to go by a script. And with Anthony Joshua, he has too much on the line. His legacy, his reputation. If he lets this thing go, unless it's in a competitive fashion to 5, 6, 7 rounds, it could be absolutely bananas.
You mentioned it, legacy. That's what this guy has. This is a former heavyweight champion. That time with him and Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, that was a fun time in heavyweight boxing. He was a prominent part of that. This is not a joke. This is a serious match for Jake Paul, and he's got to take it serious because Anthony Joshua is a powerful man. If you saw them together, like the close-up, he towers over him. Joshua is so much bigger.
Yeah, there was a 245-pound weight limit in this. Anthony Joshua made it. Jake Paul, I think, came in at 215. So there's a 30-pound weight difference. But I'll be honest with you. I'm fearful for his well-being. I really, really am. This is, you used it, no joke. And would it be the worst thing if he shocks the world? Can you imagine if Jake Paul shocks the world? And that's why Netflix paid for it, because you just don't know. That's the fight game. That's the prize fight game. I think it's going to be the biggest thing that Netflix has ever done, like viewer-wise. I really, really do. All right, let's now move over to what else is going on this weekend. And tonight, Alabama and Oklahoma, a rematch, Mikey, from the regular season when Oklahoma went to Tuscaloosa and they got the job done. This is playoff game number 1. This is the 8-9 game. How do you see this one go?
Well, I'm all in on the Sooners in this one. Alabama's out for revenge, and they're going to Oklahoma to do it, but that Sooners defense is legit. John Mateer threw for less than 150 yards in the last game in which they beat the Crimson Tide. So if he can just play relatively better than 138 yards, I think the Sooners roll in this one. We're coming off an Alabama game where they did nothing against Georgia, and I know it's Georgia, but Alabama, lucky to be where they're at.
They certainly are. And Soupy, by the way, Raphael's in the chat. He says a $10 parlay on James Madison on the money line and Jake Paul to win pays over $700, which means a $100 bet would pay over $7,000. Maybe just a little sprinkle. All right, Soupy, coming over to you, because I believe that you have a best bet in this game, correct? Which side are you on again?
I believe Oklahoma's going to win.
All right, Oklahoma. So basically, this is the same situation we had last night for Seattle. If you're going to play OU, why not lay the 3 nickels and just play it on the money line, which what most people would do. OU has proven that defense can still win because their offense is not great, but tonight they need that defensive effort once again.
Their offense isn't great, but it does enough. I think John Mateer is going to do enough. I think that they are going to try to slow the game down offensively to limit the Alabama possession. And here's the thing. Alabama played a really good game against Oklahoma. Oklahoma had their lowest total yards, and Ty Simpson threw for 326 yards, and they still lost. I think Oklahoma's defense is just going to be too good. I'm even going to take the under. I know 40 points is a really tough number to take, but I think both teams are not going to get into the 20s.
Why would you ever want to do that? Can you imagine betting an under 40.5 in a college game, Soupy? Are we serious?
I think they're both going to – I think that Oklahoma is going to bleed the clock, and there's not going to be a lot of scoring opportunities for either side.
You might be right. I just hope that you're not, because that would be boring as hell. It really, really would be. All right, let's go over to game number 2, which is game number 1 tomorrow. And this was the team, Mikey, really the 2 teams that had a lot of storylines attached to them. Miami, they beat Notre Dame. So everybody said that's why they got in over Notre Dame, when really it's Notre Dame didn't play anybody else after an 0-2 start. So now Miami makes it in out of the ACC because I guess somebody had to. But they didn't even play in their conference championship game. That was Duke and Virginia. And then you got Texas A&M, who ran the gauntlet until the last game of the year. They lose to Texas, don't make it to the SEC title game, lose the first round bye, and now they have to play tomorrow against Miami. Your take?
I love Texas A&M here. Sorry, Soupy. I know you're a Hurricanes guy, but I'm not sorry, Soupy, because I'm a Marcel Reed guy. And I believe that behind the Aggies defense, Marcel Reed's going to have his welcome to the national spotlight game, if you will. A lot of people know this guy, but I don't know that he's gotten the respect he deserves this year. I think the Aggies roll. I'm going to take them with the points here, and I like the over to hit in this one as well.
So you don't mind, would you buy it down to 3 and lay 20 cents, whatever your book is?
With my luck, yes. I would buy it down to 3. Yes.
That hook. That hook. You're having nightmares about the hook right now in every sport. Subi, let me come over to you, because you know what I call 3.5 to 5.5. Yuck. I hate the hook. I always buy down to 3, 7, or 10. But taking your fandom out of it, do you really think Miami has the firepower to stay up with this A&M offense?
I think what Carson Beck needs to do is he needs to have a clean game. The problem with Carson Beck becomes he gets too risky. That's what happened against Louisville when he threw 4 interceptions. Now, Miami has one of the better offensive lines in the league. They've allowed the lowest pressure rate. That's going to be a challenge against a Texas A&M that's 20th in pressure rate. I got to take my fandom out of it. Yeah, I think Texas A&M is the better team, and I think they do come away with the win.
Wow. It almost sounded like you were in therapy right there. You're like,
It's tough.
okay,
It's tough.
okay,
Say that.
It's so fascinating when you're talking about Texas A&M because it's so hard to run the gauntlet in the SEC with that schedule. And then the last game against Texas, I really felt like that everything they'd been doing the entire year, they were not doing against Miami. And I don't know if it was the pressure. I don't know if it was what was to come. But Mikey, they've got to put that out of their minds because if they are looking ahead past tomorrow, that's an issue. And these college kids, they feel that pressure. And tonight's as much pressure as they've ever had in their lives.
Yeah, let me take the other side here on the last game for Texas A&M. Maybe Texas just wanted it a little bit more in that one because Texas, I would argue, needed it much more than A&M. Now, I know there was a playoff seed on the line, but maybe the Aggies felt comfortable playing in a first-round game. At least that's how I see it coming into this one. I believe the Aggies and Marcel Reed's got a lot of questions to answer, including everyone's new favorite question, where does he go after this season? You think if they go on a run this year, maybe he avoids the portal, he stays where he's at. So I think this is a big game for Marcel Reed.
My God, why do we even have to talk about that? You're absolutely right, but we do. We do. We just saw last night Chambliss from Ole Miss is going into the portal. Why? Why, Soupy, are these quarterbacks going? I'll tell you why. Because he wants to re-sign. And there's a big story coming out right now about Georgia suing a player over NIL. This nonsense of going into the portal just to re-sign with the school that you just came from to leverage that check. And this is a perfect example of what we're talking about with Marcel Reed.
And this is just the new landscape of college sports in general. It's now, it always was a business, but now the business part of it is more in the open. And for Marcel Reed, yeah, he needs to prove because he was a Heisman candidate for most of this season. That loss to Texas took him out. And the problem with Texas A&M is they can't falter. You saw that game against South Carolina. They were down 31-0. They had to make that monumental comeback. Last year, they lost 5 of their final 6 games to plummet out of the playoffs. So they can absolutely choke themselves out of a game when they need to.
I think solid. I think a lot of people forget about the South Carolina game. It's very easy to just look at the record. But when you dive a little deeper and you look, they should have lost. Let's be honest. It was the biggest comeback in their history. And it was, 30 points. And then you lose to Texas. So the last 3 weeks for them have been subpar at best. And if you're Miami, nobody's talked about them, Mikey. I'll give you the last 20 seconds here. Nobody's talked about the Hurricanes. 1 to 10, what's the chances they make a run? Not just win this game, but can make a run.
I give it about a 4. I like Carson Beck. I don't know that he's a primetime player, but when you have a Malachi Tony, he can change the entire culture of a football game. So I'd be very interested to see if Miami could do anything if they pull off the upset tomorrow.
All right, it's a noon start tomorrow, and that is game 2 of the college football playoff. Coming up on the other side, we will dive into the other 2 games tomorrow. It could be a long shot. It's the biggest spread of the weekend at 20.5. James Madison, good luck to you. And also, there's a battle for first place. And if you don't know who Mikey's cheering for, just look at his clothes. It's Packers. It's Bears. We do it all next right here. It's Coach and Company. Having a great time on a Friday. It's a Friday, 6 days from Christmas. We're live on the Stadium Network. Come on back. All right, interesting story, guys, coming out of Massachusetts, where a court has ruled that DraftKings has to pay a better $923,000 because they tried to avoid some bets that looked a little irregular. All the details are a little murky. But, Mikey, you normally don't see the better win in these situations. But in this situation, almost $1 million.
Yeah, message to all the sports book. I've had a terrible week. I think those are all voided bets. Like, give it back, please. I need it back. This is in the world of where we're at today in sports and sports betting. I almost want to say this is refreshing to see because no matter who's right or who's wrong, I like to see the human get his money back.
If you can beat the system legally, Soupy, then you should win. And these books, it's crazy because we tease Raphael all the time. Like, they say they're about the better. They need the betters. But yet when you start to win, all of a sudden, they're not your best friend anymore.
That's just how it is. You think that, oh, I'm taking money from the books. No, they're always gonna find a way to get you. And the thing about this books is they know that a new 21-year-old is coming around every single day. So they'll easily just let you go by the wayside because they got new suckers coming in all the time.
Yeah, bet $5, get $250. The laziest promo of all freaking time. Big Chuck, your thoughts on a better getting almost $1 million?
Yeah, I know you love that 5 get 250. I wonder if that opened a can of worms. I wonder if other books contacted them, asking them what they were doing. You know, you're supposed to fight it to the bitter end. I'm always happy that the player come out on top. I wonder if this is going to see more coming at the books as well. So I'm interested to see what goes down going forward.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of people out there that spend hours and hours trying to beat the system. And we've seen movies about groups that have tried to beat the system in Vegas. I thought those days were over, but now you're using electronics to try to beat the system as well. All right, we've got a lot more to get to. 3 football games, 2 NBA games. We're back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. We are just past the bottom of the hour. If you're watching us live in the East, it's 10:32. If you're watching us out in the West, it's 7:32. You're just getting out of bed. Welcome to Coach and Company. My guys are here, Mikey, Soupy, Big Chuck. We've got 2 more college football games tomorrow, and I'm personally looking forward to this one. There's a lot of parody accounts out there, guys, so I don't have the time to look to know if it's real or not, but I will say that there's been rumors that the Tulane side has saved a seat in their coach's box for Lane Kiffin. Whether or not it's true doesn't matter. It's fun to talk about. And this spread is 17.5. But, Mikey, they are putting out video after video after video. It's Christmas time. It's going to be almost 70 degrees. You couldn't have anything better than a coach who's going to Florida coaching and the coach that went to LSU not coaching. Your take?
Coach, I love it. And it's absolutely true. Coach Summerall actually said, I've offered Lane, but he hasn't hit me back yet. Coach, I want to go with my heart on this one because I do think Tulane can cover. And if you go back and watch the first meeting between these two and actually watch, don't just read the box score, you'll see Tulane move the ball consistently against Ole Miss. They just couldn't stop Ole Miss. There's a lot of distractions on both sides. I think the distractions weigh heavier on Ole Miss's side than they do Tulane. I like Tulane to cover. I almost want to say they win out on the outright.
Man, they've had some games this year where their defense just hasn't shown up. And since they're not a Power 5 or Power 4, I guess, and they're a group of 5, nobody's giving them a chance. But Soupy, would there be a better story in this playoff to have Mr. Summerall, not Summerall, stay? He just gave $100,000 back to the school. He's going to Florida. It's all good. They get it because there's difference in levels. It's very different when you're talking about the Lane Kiffin side. Do you feel like there's this groundswell where everybody, and the Mississippi players had nothing to do with this, but it feels like everybody wants Tulane to win?
They want Tulane to win, but do we remember what the score was in the game earlier in the season? It was 45-10. And I don't care that there is no Lane Kiffin there. The players that were on the field for that game are going to be on the field for this game that scored 45 points to Tulane's 10. I love Trinidad Chambliss. I am excited. I think he's going to be a Heisman candidate next year. He can easily throw for 300 yards and 50 rushing yards. He did that against Tulane. He's going to do it again. I think that Ole Miss rolls.
That game was on September 20th. And Soupy's absolutely right, Chuck. You live in the heart of this battle. You're from Louisiana, and this triangle of colleges, Tulane, Ole Miss, and LSU. What's the fever kind of been like where you live?
Oh, it's nothing but excitement, and it's kind of what comes around goes around. Ole Miss didn't have a problem when they were taking him away from Florida Atlantic. It's the same scenario that played out. But I definitely think that Tulane. I think distraction is the key word. No matter how they want to cover it up, I think it'll glare in this one. And then Tulane has to remember that beatdown. I think they can stay within 17.5. I think it's an offensive game. Also, I think we see plenty of points. Tulane and the over is what I would look at between these two.
And one thing we should point out that Ole Miss has their offense coordinator back. They have signed their quarterbacks coach, Joe Judge, for another year, and their defensive coordinator. So all of their major coaches, other than the play caller, which is Lane Kiffin. It'll be interesting to see if anything changes or if it's just status quo. But the fact that the offensive coordinator is there is a big deal. All right, the last playoff game tomorrow. And this is the one that Soupy has a best bet on. James Madison. People were shocked when their name came up as a 12 seed and not a Notre Dame or not somebody else. And now they travel all the way out to Oregon to a fast track, Mikey, to the 5 seed, the Oregon Ducks. The only loss they've had this year is on this field to the number 1 seed, Indiana Hoosiers. This is a 20.5 point spread. It's a feel good, but there's been a lot of criticism that this is not what the playoffs are supposed to be about. Your take?
I see this game much differently than I do Tulane and Ole Miss. James Madison, in my opinion, has no shot. I like Oregon to cover by 3 touchdowns in this game. Dante Moore was a Heisman candidate, and this year we saw in so many crucial moments throughout the college football season when Oregon had to have it, he made that throw, except against Indiana. And he made big throw after big throw, and now you're going to Eugene. Good luck, James Madison. It's been fun. Give me the over and Oregon.
Soupy. Big dog. So you believe, and I think the way that this can happen is if Oregon gets up by a lot and it's a backdoor cover because they take their starters out because they got to get ready for the next game health-wise. But to me, that's the only way that this comes in. Sell me on James Madison.
I don't think so. Despite the fact of the competition they played, this is still a really talented team. It's a really good offense. They were top 10 in points allowed per game. What they are going to do is they're going to shut down Noah Winnington. And when they shut down Noah Winnington and you only can make Dante Moore a one-dimensional quarterback, it's a lot of trouble. That's what happened against Indiana. He had Moore had minus 27 rushing yards in that game. Winnington only had 27 rushing yards in that game. I think they can do the same thing to Oregon. James Madison has that ability. It's going to be a tough competition. I'm not saying James Madison is going to shock the world and win. I just think they keep it within a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't know for the life of me with the facilities that Oregon has how they don't get every single player that they want. It is state-of-the-art everything. To the point, Big Chuck, they got to put their handprint up on the door to have the door open automatically. It's fascinating. But James Madison is going to need a lot more than luck to beat this squad, which is super fast on this field. Your take?
I put my man Soup Doggy Dog. I don't know if they can beat them, but I think they can stay within that 20.5. And then that total is interesting also. It was as high as 50.5. It's plummeted down to 46.5. So they're thinking we're seeing a lower scoring game. I think the JMU can keep it within that in what could be a interesting defensive battle.
All right. I hope you're wrong, but you're probably right. You're my cash register for a reason. All right, let's flip the script. Let's go over to the National Football League. 2 big games on Saturday. Remember, we'll be back on Sunday to break down all the Sunday games. I don't really have any interest in the Eagles and the Commanders. Commanders are out of it. Eagles are kind of playing their way to the division. But the other game, Mikey, my guy, You guys flipped the script last week, beating the Browns while the Packers lost to the Broncos. So now it's a battle for first place, but you, because of the tie, are all alone at the top. You have it back in your house. How do you see this one go?
Well, good luck to any Packers player trying to hear themselves think on Saturday night. I think this game is going to be incredible, but I can't ignore the problem on the field. No Luther Burden, no Roma Dunze. So the Bears are going to have to do the only thing that helps them beat the Philadelphia Eagles: run the ball with a healthy dose of DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. I believe in this team. The spread has changed in the last 24 hours. I will take them with the -1.5. The defense is getting healthier, but this is going to be earned, not given on Saturday night.
It's interesting that you bring up the defense because last week, Soupy, the Packers gave up 34 points to a Broncos team that has not had a great offense this year. I don't know what happened, but there was a lot of holes and a lot of guys running free. If that happens with Caleb Williams, they almost won 2 weeks ago in Green Bay. Can't do that again.
No, and the good thing about the Bears are they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They are top in pass block grade, and that's going to be great against the Packers, even without Micah Parsons. This is still a good pass rush. It's going to be a battle in the trenches because Mikey said it's going to be Kyle Monangai. It's going to be DeAndre Swift controlling the pace of this game and get Coastal Loveland involved in the pass game. I think it's going to be a lot of dinks and dunks, a lot of short yardage. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I'm definitely eyeing that under 46.5.
I go back to the Eagles game where the Bears on Black Friday, I think it was, where they dominated on the ground. When you have two players rush for over 120 yards, Chuck, that to me showed the Bears, showed Ben Johnson, that's the blueprint to winning for them. Don't have Caleb throwing it 40 times. How about 25 to 30? That's a perfect number. If they can do that tomorrow, I think they'll walk out of this game with a 1.5 game lead in the NFC North.
That's definitely their recipe for success is to run the ball, keep it away from this Green Bay offense. Something tells me, though, the Packers, for whatever reason, they just have the Bears number. They won 12 out of the last 13, 6 straight on the road against the Chicago team. Plus, we're getting a 1.5. We see how important that 1.5 is just in last night's game. I like that even more. But I'm with Soupy. I think this is a defensive battle. It was high scoring last time. I think we see low scoring, turnovers, field goals. Defensive battle, and I would back the Pack getting the +1.5.
Wow, Mikey, what does your fandom do when you hear that? Backing the Pack in Chicago?
He's a cash register, so I have nothing to say to a guy who makes people a lot of money given my track record. But all I'll say is we'll see you Saturday night. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, we're slicing and dicing cheese all night, Coach.
Woo.
You did not just do the Rick. Who just did that?
That was Chuck. And then I
I thought it was appropriate.
It was. It did pop me. It did pop me. I want everybody to think for a second. I'm going to bring this one home. That there's a shift in the NFC right now. There's a shift in the NFL. The Bears that for a long time, probably since 1985, have not been relevant. And now they are. They've got a generational quarterback, a talent that is starting to mesh with this city. But you need games like this, a Saturday night all to yourself. Nobody's going to be watching JMU and Oregon. It's going to be all about the Packers and Bears reigniting that rivalry. This is what the NFL is all about. So we'll be talking about it Sunday morning, live at 10 a.m. Mikey will be in that host chair, and I think he'll be in a good mood regardless of his picks if the Bears can simply win. All right, coming up next, we have 2 national games tonight as the NBA gets back into their normal schedule after the NBA Cup and the Knicks getting it done. Well, they're on the court back-to-back nights. Will fatigue be a factor? And also, we got a good one. Thunder and T-Wolves, we saw that late last season. They play tonight, too. It's Coach and Company live right here on Stadia. All right, boys, last night I had a sweat-free over 229 that hit 230 in overtime. I was never worried. However, JB Bickerstaff, the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, number 1 seed right now in the Eastern Conference, he said that John Goble, the head referee, came in to not be objective against his team. Mikey, translation, he feels like he refed against him. That is a big time allegation. Your thoughts?
Yes, it is. And I'm so sick of it. You see it in the NFL, you're seeing it in the NBA. Hey, just a memo to anyone in the NBA, stop talking about the refs. You guys on the court are doing it worse than they are right now. Look at the scandals happening in basketball. This is just a awful excuse for a team that got beat and outplayed in the closing moments of the game. It is what it is. I hate that excuse.
Soupy?
Yeah, it's the worst excuse you could even think of. It's all about what you do on the court. Yes, the refs are going to make mistakes. It happens. We're not perfect. But one call, one maybe mistake call is not going to change the entire landscape of a game. It's your team making continuous mistakes. It's what sets the landscape of the game.
Yeah, despite the fact that they're the number 1 seed, they make a lot of mistakes. And you're also ruining that relationship, Chuck, with that referee moving forward. And you get a lot of the same guys. It's a rotation all year long.
Absolutely. If they didn't have an agenda before, they could go in the future. I'm wondering if the league office gave them a call as well, if there will be a potential fine for bringing up that, knowing what's transpired in the past also. So I'll be interested to see if Mr. Bickerstaff gets a call from the home office.
Yeah, I have a feeling in the NBA, it'll be Bickerstaff. In the NFL, it'll be Puka Nacua. And he's not on a big contract yet. So 25 large to Puka, that's going to hurt him a little bit in the here and the now. I've just a gut that he'll be getting a big contract as soon as he possibly can. All right, it's time to talk NBA. It's time to lock in our best bets. It's time for me to prove once again I'm the best NBA capper in the world. As I said it. We're back in 5 seconds. All right, it's always fun when you got the Sixers and the Knicks on the same court. The Knicks have had a long week. They had to go to Vegas, play 2 games. They win the NBA Cup. Then they have to travel on Thursday. And last night, I correctly predicted that they would not want to play defense. They got out to a 28-12 deficit. And then I had that sweat-free over 225. It cashed in at 227. Oh, but tonight, they're back at Madison Square Garden. Tonight, Mikey, they're laying 6.5. I think we have that opposite. It should be Knicks minus 6.5. And the total at 229.5. How do you see this one playing out?
I see, hopefully, Karl-Anthony Towns and Josh Hart back on the court tonight because Jalen Brunson can't do it all by himself, 2 thumbs up or not. I believe the Knicks roll in this one. I like the over in this one. Philadelphia, they have players. Surprisingly, Paul George, a guy we're not talking about anymore, is having a pretty good, respectable season. So I do think we'll get points, but the Knicks are on a roll right now, and I think they'll bounce them easily in this one.
Yeah, he had, I think, the highest scoring night of his season in the last game. He had a lot of late shots, but they've had a lot of close games this year, Soupy. But when Joel Embiid is in the lineup, and he's been in and out, I honestly haven't even looked at his status yet, but they're not as good when he's in the game. But they play him because he's making over $40 million a year. What do you make of this game with or without Embiid? Because you just never know.
I still think that the Knicks are going to roll in this game. They've won 13 or 14 in Madison Square Garden. They dominate at home, and they're a slower team. The Sixers are a slower team with Joel Embiid because he just doesn't have the legs like he used to. And I expect Karl-Anthony Towns and Josh Hart to be back in this game, so they're going to be able to dominate that front court. And I think the Knicks are going to roll tonight.
Yeah, Josh Hart and Brunson, they've had an interesting week, you could say. This number in a lot of books is dropping, so you can get it anywhere from 4.5 all the way up to 6.5. So there's a lot of discrepancy right now with this game. Big Chuck, how do you see this one tonight?
I've definitely seen this number fluctuating. I was looking at the 76ers. That's Knicks on the back-to-back 3 and 4. You can't avoid that regardless of who's playing. And so I kind of like the number with the 76ers catching the 6.5. And then the total, I'm liking a lower scoring game. I think this one's a set for a under. Give me the 76ers and the under in a defensive battle.
All right, let's flip it now over to the late game, and this is kind of a rematch of the playoffs last year. Minnesota's a rising team, but so is the Thunder, and they've kind of hit a little bit of a speed bump, not much. They continue to win at an incredible clip, Mikey, but they go on the road tonight, and this is a chance for the Timberwolves to really kind of put their foot down this season. Christmas is the unofficial start of the NBA season, so if they can get this dub tonight, I think we can start talking about two different teams, and I know you love Anthony Edwards.
I do love Anthony Edwards. So Anthony Edwards, turn my week around. Let's go into the weekend on a positive. Get back on the court tonight, please. Coach, I believe we had this matchup not too long ago, and I sat here and said, I believe the Timberwolves can cover. I think they can win this game. Well, I'm going to go back to that same statement. I believe they can cover only if Anthony Edwards plays tonight. The Thunder are on an absolute historic pace, but if there's one team I think can compete with them, it's Minnesota with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, always check the starting lineups around 3:30 or 4. Soupy, Minnesota getting 7.5 at home. That shows how much and how good the books believe the Thunder truly are.
And the Thunder have been getting these types of numbers at home. They're getting double digits. I think it's going to start to lessen as the season progresses. The problem with the Timberwolves in the last matchup, they shot 59% from the free throw line. You can't do that. Doesn't matter who you play. If you shoot below 60% from the stripe, you're going to lose. I think if they improve that aspect, they can win, because they shot 46% from three in that last matchup against the Thunder. If Anthony Edwards plays, please check that. I'm going to take the Timberwolves.
All right, again, 3:30 or 4 o'clock. You go to NBA.com. They'll have all the starting lineups right there. All right, we need a bounce-back day. Well, not for me, but for everybody else. So it's time to lock it in. All right. 10 seconds or less, 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. Mikey, start us off.
Give me Kennesaw State +3. This line has moved to +3.5. I like it either which way. I think Kennesaw State can win against Western Michigan outright on the field. And then I'm going to the Celtics -6.5, taking on the Miami Heat. Always a fun rivalry game. I see the Celtics pulling this off by double digits.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too. The Heat not playing so great right now. Soupy, talk to me.
It's been 130 years since Alabama has lost to a team twice. That is getting broken tonight because that Oklahoma pass rush is going to be in Ty Simpson's face all day. Give me Oklahoma on the money line. And James Madison, he is going to make the fans in Eugene feel very tight, because I think that defense can keep this game close against Oregon.
Their only loss of the year happened on their home field to Indiana. If you're going to cash with the coach, the last 2 nights, a perfect 4-0. Premium pop-up, a perfect 2-0. I'm on fire. Bulls, Cavs, under 240.5, -108. We played the same number, the same matchup 2 days ago. It went to the under. We're going to do it again. Spurs, Hawks, over 240.5, -110. Spurs, 119 points last night. The Hawks, 69 in the first half. And they trailed by 11. That's right. They gave up 80 in the first half last night. You put these two teams together, fireworks. We get into the 250s. All right, we got a 5-pack. Big Chuck quickly ruck through it.
Saturday, EPL doubler, Man City, West Ham, both teams to score. Surprised we're getting this price. It's cashed in 4 straight and 8 of 10 between these two. Brighton, Sunderland. The Seagulls coming off a terrible showing last week. I think they get back on track against the Black Cats. Score early. Brighton first half team total over half a goal. They have 4 first half in their last 5 home games. Then the Germany Bundesliga, Stuttgart, Hoffenheim. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. Two of the top 3 teams cashing this play in the league. I look for more of the same. Then Sunday, La Liga, auto play, Villarreal, Barcelona, the over 3.75. The total is cashed in 13 of the last 15 encounters. And lastly, we go back to Germany, Bundesliga. Heidenheim welcome the mighty Bayern Munich to town. Bayern team total over 3.5. Bayern have scored at least 4 against this team in 5 of their lifetime meetings and 6 showings.
Yeah, right now, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, they've stumbled a little bit the last week, so they want to get back on track. How do you do that? You do that with a lot of goals. All right, gentlemen, it is a busy weekend across the sports world. So, Mikey, if there's one thing on the main screen tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, what's it going to be in the Pendleton household?
It's Bears-Packers, of course, but there's going to be main screens all weekend. That's all I'm worried about is the heavy slate we have. And hopefully we get lucky in the personal side of things.
Interesting. All right. Soupy, what's on your number one screen?
Gotta be the U. I'm going to be watching that game. And if you are betting on Mikey's Kennesaw State, Western Michigan, that game starts in 4 minutes. So get it in now.
4 minutes. Good job. Big Chuck, what are you going to be having on the main screen this weekend?
Saints, Jets, for show.
Did not have that one on my bingo card. I'll be honest with you. Didn't even know they were playing, to be honest. So there you go. Everybody likes different things. Gentlemen, well done today. I certainly do appreciate it. Producer man, give me that one shot. It's time now for you all to go out into the world. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. That's my number one tonight on Netflix. It's going to be a sight. You know, the production is going to be off the charts. I'll give Jake Paul his flowers. His team does an incredible job. But now the rubber meets the road. Does he truly belong in the ring with a former heavyweight champion of the world? There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, damn it, do I love them all. My man, Mikey P. Soupy, best beard in the game. Big Chuck from the Dirty Dirty. Producer man, always behind the scenes, making the show look like $1 million. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. On demand tomorrow, live on Sunday. It's Coach and Company, live on weekdays. Love it. Right here on Stadium. Good luck. Take care. Travel safe.